Did you know that Spotify recently suffered a loss of not 1 or 2 but $4 billion as it refused to remove the content that was allegedly promoting COVID-19 misinformation? This is how truckers in Canada's Ottawa responded to COVID-19 restrictions and the vaccine mandates. And these are the visuals from Paris. These are from Germany and these are from Italy. All these protests are either against COVID-19 restrictions or vaccine mandates. So what is happening across the world? Why in the third year of this deadly pandemic people are still divided over the need of masks, vaccines and COVID-19 restrictions? First of all, let's start with Canada. Thousands of truckers reached Parliament Hill in Ottawa to protest against COVID-19 vaccine mandates. Some abused the Prime Minister, vandalized the property and even used Nazi symbols, and many registered their protests. All of this started with Canada making vaccines mandatory for truckers crossing the US-Canada border. In just a few days, the protests that initially started against COVID-19 vaccine mandates became the protests against COVID-19 restrictions and the lockdowns. Well, some may say that it's a side effect of having the USA as the neighbor, because some habits do cross boundaries. Number second, this case of Spotify is even more surprising. Spotify reportedly has a $100 million deal with podcaster Joe Rogan, who hosts the show The Joe Rogan Experience. Each episode is consumed by 11 million people on average, but Rogan has been accused of spreading misinformation on vaccines and the pandemic. Many have registered their protests regarding this podcast in the past, but the biggest twist occurred when legendary singer Neil Young threatened to pull down his content from Spotify if Spotify does not pull down Joe Rogan's podcasts. Spotify refused to act. The end result? Young and many other celebrities also removed their content. The platform received massive criticism and ultimately lost $4 billion in just a few days. We can just say one thing: Spotify, you were warned. In the third scenario, we can look at how people all over the world are divided over vaccine mandates and COVID-19 restrictions. The opposition has come out in many ways. Something which was just dismissed as fringe element of many countries just a few months back has now developed into a full force of opposition. The small group of people has now transformed into big rallies against common sense and scientific proof. But what do these protesters want and why are they protesting? The biggest factor is misinformation. Misinformation plays a big role in these protests against COVID-19 restrictions. Some see vaccines as conspiracy, some see them as an attempt to control people, whereas some just don't believe that they work. Did you ever notice the words used in these protests? Other than the abuses, these anti-vaxxers always harp on words like freedom, constitution, values and will of the people. These people think that by mandating vaccines or masks, government is taking away their freedom and their right to be free. This is exactly why they are protesting. The second biggest reason behind these protests is the frustration. Let's face it, nobody likes COVID-19 restrictions. Nobody likes lockdowns. And definitely nobody likes being sick. But when the world is encountering a wave of infections and the same cycle of restrictions every few months, some people are bound to feel angry. But the same people just do not understand one thing, that vaccines, masks, and other mandates are required for us to get out of this cycle. This is exactly what they want. Despite this, some people just refuse to budge. So all of it comes down to one question: what do we do about it? So start with yourself. How would you deal with someone who is an anti-vaxxer or someone who believes in all this misinformation? The same tactics are required here. The administration needs to focus on how to communicate with these anti-vaxxers, regulate the misinformation on other platforms, as we saw in the case of Spotify, and at the same time punish those who are putting everybody's health in danger, as now we are witnessing in many countries. The challenge is bigger than it seems. COVID-19 is far from over. The deadly variants are on the loose. People are still dying, and then we have some people who are ready to believe whatever they have read on internet, but not the scientists and their reports. What do you think about this? How should the administration deal with such issues? Let me know in the comment section. And if you like this video, do not forget to drop in a like and subscribe to Indiatimes.